Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Patreon podcast. This week I wanted to talk about the idea of creative versus mechanical work. Apologize for my voice. I literally just woke up, but I have a dentist appointment in like 30 minutes, and I wanted to get this out there. So last week I was talking about finishing up the album, the Maker's Eden album, and I talked about kind of finishing up the creative work and all like the difficult parts were done, but the album wasn't finished. And I break my work up into two separate things. I break it up into creative work and mechanical work. Creative work is usually the work that involves making things, like creating melodies or sound design, or things that really involve looking at the current piece and figuring out how to extrapolate a finished piece from it. Mechanical work, on the other hand, is things like tweaking knobs or ensuring that the sound is good through the mastering process, and really kind of fiddling with things until they sound exactly right. Sometimes it's the polish of things. Sometimes it's just making sure that something fits better, but it doesn't really require the same creative energy as actually making the song. So in my experience, when I do this stuff, my creative work is sitting down and actually writing the song. But once the song is complete, I listen to it a bunch and I write down notes. And these notes are things like, this piano is a little too loud, or I don't really like the lead here, which really is creative work. But I have all of these notes, and it's essentially a to-do list on things that I need to fix inside of the song. A lot of them are just, hey, load this up, change this number to this number, and then export it again. And that's mechanical work for me. It's stuff that's essentially a to-do list that doesn't really need me to think about it. It's just a list of things that I need to do, and then the song will be better, and then I listen to it again. And that's really how I mix and master an album, where I listen to it, I write down a list of tasks to do to change things, I make those changes, and I listen to it again. And eventually that list gets whittled down into nothing. And there are times where I listen to it and I either write down the same note again because I didn't change it enough, or I find something new, or I try to like revert a change that I already did. And I don't refer to my old lists either, because I don't want to have my opinions colored by the changes that I made. I honestly, most of the time, don't even remember the changes that I made. I just followed the list of mechanical changes, re-export everything, and then I listen to it again with fresh ears the next day. And that works really well for me when it comes to that kind of stuff. And this doesn't really even involve like going to the final process of an album either. Mechanical changes can happen inside of a song while it's being made, where I am listening to something and I just feel like it's not fitting the right way, and it's like I don't have to change the melodies, I don't have to change any of the creative work, I don't have to make something new, I just have to twiddle with what's there. And I like having this kind of separation of labor when it comes to that, because it allows me to focus on either being creative or looking at the mechanical like workings of the song or the project that I'm currently focused on. And it just allows me to focus a little bit differently. I think I'm rambling a little bit on this here, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. And I've found that it has helped me quite a bit when it comes to just being able to make things, because it can be very overwhelming, especially, and this is one of the reasons why I don't do electronic music very often in the 2-hour track challenge, is because a lot of that can be sound design. And sound design for me can take an extremely long amount of time. So I always worry that I'm going to run out of time when I do that kind of stuff. So I focus on all the creative stuff first, and then I turn around and then I try to do the mechanical stuff. And hopefully I'll have enough time to like bounce back and do creative stuff again, and then go back and forth until the song is done. But sound design for me is one of those things that takes a lot of time, and I want to make sure that I have enough time for everything. So really, like, mechanical work is just taking a list of things, taking a list of objectives, and just going down the list. Like, let me actually here. I have a list right here where it's like this needs a little bit more bass. I found a little bit of mud 5 minutes in on the song. Some of the percussion is a little loud. I feel the mastering is like a little bit too quiet. So it's like all of these tiny, tiny things. And you could consider that to be creative work as well, where it's just like, well, how do I change the bass? Do I change the EQ? Do I just boost it all together? And like there's a lot of things in there, but you have this list, you have this task list to do. And I feel that that's more mechanical work than creative work because you have it all laid out for you already. You're not loading up the project file and then figuring out what you're doing. And that's really kind of where I'm going with that. And that's pretty much it. Like, I just wanted to get this out there because it's a really important part of my process that I don't think I've really talked about. I've mentioned it before. I've mentioned like mechanical work before, but I've never really gone into detail about it. So I just wanted to get that out there. I hope you all enjoyed my deep and gravelly morning voice. I have a dentist appointment in like 15 minutes, and I just wanted to get this recorded while I could still talk properly. So yeah, that's everything that I have today. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. I genuinely appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Be remarkable.